was about to what the fuck did I just say, bro?
Man, baby girl, yeah, you look fly, yeah, you look fly, yeah, you look fly. You got it going on, can't even lie, and the booty crazy. Oh my God, yeah, why you gonna do it like that? Put that ass all on me. Niggas don't even know what to do with all that. No lie, no cap.
Welcome back to my channel or whatever. Today we're gonna talk about a little incident that happened in my life. Before I do that, why not get a little tipsy? You feel me? Because this story, I feel like I haven't reminisced on this story in a long time, and like now that I'm grown looking back on it, shit's wild. What the fuck were we doing? Got a little rosé wine, so I'm about to, I should have just went and got a strawberry, period. I have maybe 3 eyelashes left on each eye, and I didn't even care to put strips on. I'm taking a break from getting eyelash extensions just to make sure that I still love myself without them. Sometimes you gotta check in, you know? I cannot do this. Boom pow. Got my Scandal wine glasses. You may remember these from my coming out story time. If you haven't watched that video, you should definitely watch that video because that shit was crazy. Just pour a little bit here.
2 shots of vodka.
Let's get to the mess. I know that y'all have seen the title of this video and you're like, sis, what the fuck? In the 7th grade, I moved from Houston to LA. I did the 6th grade in Houston. I'm about to do the 7th grade in LA. That's just how my life was set up. My cousin was already in LA and she was going to the same middle school that I was going.
Maybe it wasn't a good idea to drink before I did this.
We're never gonna get through. We're never gonna get to the tea. Fuck. She was in the 8th grade. I was in the 7th grade. You know how it is when you're in middle school. 8th graders are like top of the food chain. 6th graders at the bottom. 7th graders are just weird and awkward looking and trying to make it to 8th grade. When I got to this middle school, my cousin introduced me to some of her friends, and I had my own friends. So on the weekends, I would hang out with my cousin and some of her friends. My friends are like good kids, you know, normal 7th graders. Like we weren't doing smoking weed and hanging out and fucking and doing all this nasty shit. Like we were not about that. We were just regular ass kids being annoying 7th graders, 8th graders, whatever. Ugh. My cousin, however, had a whole different group of friends, and I won't even say a different group, but it was just one girl in my cousin friend circle who was what black folks call fast. She was always doing some shit, popping off at the gums, running her mouth, fighting. She was having sex, like being sexual. Like, how old are you in the 8th grade? Like what, 14, 13? Like, bitch, what the fuck were we doing? Like, what are we doing? One weekend, my cousin's like, hey, so we gonna go over to Tim's house. So let me get this girl a name just in case, because we may still be Facebook friends and like, but sis, I don't mean no harm, but this is the tea and you know you was there, so period. Let's call her Ashley. We'll call my cousin Kenny. She's a girl, but we'll call her Kenny, and then we'll call her friend Ashley. So Kenny was like, hey, we gonna go stay at Ashley's house this weekend, and then we're gonna go up to Universal City Walk and hang out. And then these boys that we've been talking to that live in LA, because I was in the Valley, if you know anything about LA, like there's like separate areas. When people be like Compton, Inglewood, like all that shit, that's LA. But I lived in North Hollywood, which is a very different area than like the hoods of Los Angeles. But at the time they had just built the metro train that connected all of the neighborhoods. So the kids would get on the train and ride, I think it was even free at the time, from LA to Universal Studios. And Universal Studios has this thing called City Walk, where it's just restaurants, and we would go there on the weekends and walk around and be annoying teenagers. The boys were supposed to be meeting us at City Walk. First of all, let's be very clear. Your girl is a dyke, okay? At that time, I already knew that I was gay. However, I was on the DL, I was on the down low. I had this white girl that we was like flirting and messing around on the low low. But in real life, like, nobody knew. I didn't have no dudes. I wasn't really into it. But my cousin Kenny was like, we about to go to City Walk. We gonna meet up with these dudes that Ashley hooked us up with, blah 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 blah. It's one for you, it's one for me, like it's about to be on and popping, da 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 da. And my cousin Kenny, she was real into dudes. Like that was like, you know, she's straight, so like she's a teenage girl, whatever. So I was like, well, I don't think my mama gonna let me go to City Walk by ourselves. Like, I'm 14, like, and my cousin Kenny, I don't think my uncle gonna let you go either. But she was like, but it's okay, we're gonna tell him that we're going to Ashley house to just spend the night, and like we're gonna hang out at Ashley house. But they don't have to know that while at Ashley house we're gonna go up to Universal Studios. And I was like, okay, for sure, cool, I'm cool with that. I can lie a little bit, you know, a teenager. Hey, Ashley, the girl Ashley, had beef with a whole bunch of bitches from the school. And it's funny because this girl that we had the beef with that night is actually, she ended up being like one of my friends like later on in life. But in that moment we were not cool. So we go up to City Walk, we hanging out with these boys, we, you know, we end up on a parking lot roof. Like we were on the roof of the parking lot. Ashley was in the corner with this boy, like behind a car, doing whatever the fuck they're doing. My cousin Kenny was over there with another dude, and I had this boy, his name was Brandon. That's his real government, I don't know his last name, but his name was Brandon. And me and Brandon just sitting there like, oh, I don't know. Like I could tell he was the boy in the friend group that was clearly my age. Like I've already drank half a bottle. I'm gonna keep drinking. I'm gonna go back to my cup though. So me and Brandon was just sitting there talking. Eventually we ended up kissing and making out. You know, I had to play the role, honey. I could not be found out, okay? These bitches could not find out that I be dyking, period. So I'm out here, you know, flirting and kissing or whatever. I think that's like, there are like 3 boys in my life that I kissed, and Brandon is one of them. So congratulations, Brandon. I couldn't tell you today what this nigga looked like. Like I remember he was kind of light skinned, and I think he had green eyes. I think a car came or somebody came to go to their car, which eventually interrupted the makeout sessions and interrupted whatever the hell Ashley had going on behind the car, because we couldn't even see them. Like they were like down. So I don't know if she was, you know, slobbing on the knobber. Somebody came to go to their car, so whatever, that makeout session is over. So we gather our stuff and we go back down to the public area of City Walk, and we're walking, and then we spot this girl. Let's call her Michelle. Michelle is walking City Walk like everybody else from our school is doing at this time, by herself. So Ashley sees Michelle and she's like, bitch, what's up? You was talking all that shit. Like they just start, you know, doing the thing you do before you fight. Michelle is like not trying to have it. She takes off, beelines, and she disappears in the crowd. We don't see Michelle anymore, right? So then, you know, kids, we like, yeah, that bitch scared of us. Woo. Me, I'm square as fuck, but I'm like in on it. I'm like, yeah, fuck that bitch. Like, that's not even my lifestyle. Like, I'm not even that type of girl. I think I could think of like, I've never been in like a fight. Like, this is the only time I could think of when I think about fighting. Like, that's just not fight or flight. I'm like a flight kind of girl. I'm not a fighter. So Michelle makes a beeline. Boom, she gone. We rowdy, boo boo, whoop de whoop de boo. Bitches don't want shit, blah blah blah. Why don't I just take a few shots of peach Ciroc? So now we walk in, we go to Capitol Records. Like, this is how old I am. I'm spilling tea. Like, I'm old, y'all. Like, Capitol Records, listening to records or listening to CDs. I feel like Aaliyah was like an album we were listening to. The red album cover. I feel like I was listening to the red album cover of Aaliyah. I really feel like that happened. So and then we were like, fuck it, let's just go, like, let's just leave, whatever. When you go to City Walk, you go up this big hill, and you can either walk or you can take a tram up and down the hill. So we decided we were going to take the tram. So in order to get on the tram, you have to go towards one exit. So we're walking towards that exit, and we're almost to the tram when out of nowhere Michelle pops up with her mama and her grandmama, bro.
Hello, motherfucker.
out of nowhere. So I guess this whole time, now that I'm grown, I could think about it. Like, I guess this whole time they were all there together. Like I said, we were in the 7th and 8th grade, so I'm not letting my 7th or 8th grader walk around a fucking, you know, anywhere without me at nighttime, period. So I'm assuming they went to City Walk and her parents were probably eating dinner somewhere and let her roam to be with her friends. They pop up out of nowhere and they hood and they like, bitch, you have something going on with my daughter, blah, 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 my daughter, whoop de whoop. It's the mom, whoop whoop whoop. And then Ashley, who's about that life, pops off back to the mom. And I'm like,
oh, hell no.
Is that what people do? Like, you talking back to this lady mama? I'm scared of adults. Like, I am a square, honey. L7 weenie is me. I was not ready for her to like go off on this lady. Like, and I also hadn't experienced adults popping off at kids. And that's a thing, y'all. That is a thing. There are grown-ass people who whoop kids' asses when they fuck with their own kid. I'm gonna be one of them type of parents when I get grown. Don't touch my kid or I'm busting you in your fucking neck, period. Y'all, this is nasty. Like, maybe I'm just not a wine. No, this is nasty. Even if I was a wine girl. So when I go with my white friends and we drink expensive wine and shit, it don't taste like this. This ain't it. Back to my story. The mom comes out of nowhere. She bumping her guns. Boo, 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 boo. Who banging on? And Ashley steps up to the motherfucking occasion. Out of nowhere, to this day, I don't know who swung first. Whether it was the mom or Ashley. Either way, they gets the bumping. Boo, boo, bow, 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 bow. Now, my cousin Kenny, that's her bitch. Ashley is her bitch. And what she not finna do is let Ashley get her ass beat by this grown-ass lady. So Kenny jumps in, which means now it's 2 on 1. And the grandma and Michelle are both sitting there watching. And I'm watching. We're still watching all this go down. Now, the crowd is like starting to gather because we're in a fucking public ass space. Like, if you ever been to Universal Studios, like, City Walk is public, bitch. Okay, if you ever been to Disney World, think of downtown Disney. Like, it's just like that. Shout out to the Ciroc girls. When we show up, shit gets shut down, period. Too lit to quit. I feel like if I keep making YouTube videos like this, I'm never gonna be able to run for president. Not that I ever would, but like, I can't run for Congress ever. I've been drinking Ciroc on camera since 95. Right now, it's Ashley, the mom, and my cousin Kenny going at it. Kenny's trying to help Ashley from getting her ass beat by this grown-ass lady. So now, because the grandma felt like they were jumping her daughter, the grandma jumps in. Now, the grandma starts fighting Kenny, my cousin. Now, see, that's when shit went left and my whole like Valley Girl, like not about that life, went straight out of my mind, period. I jumped in to help my cousin. I was only in there for 2 seconds though, girl. But my 2 seconds was popping. I was like, boop, boop, pop, pop. 2 seconds before security showed up and immediately break it up and immediately put us in handcuffs. The mom, the grandma, no handcuffs. Can you believe that shit? I guess because we were younger, they put us in handcuffs and not the grown people. But either way, the grown people started it. They put us in handcuffs. They start asking each, you know, they separate you. Have you ever been arrested or detained? I've never been arrested, but I've been detained a few times. If you ever been detained, then you know that they typically separate everybody to get each person's story to figure out what the hell is going on. I should finish it, huh? I should just finish it. I should just finish it. This felt like a good idea. An hour ago. I'm gonna be so dry tomorrow. Okay. I should wash that down with a little wine or something. They do that. They figure out that it's some petty like middle school bullshit. They look at us and they say, hey, y'all need to go home and literally never come back. You are banned. You are not allowed to come back to Universal Studios for life. I've been back a bunch of times since then. They didn't take our pictures or anything. They just like told us that. So we left. We walked down the hill, and when you're walking down the hill, if you make a left, there's a Subway and there's a Fat Burger and a pizza store right there. We're kids, so of course we're hyped that we almost got arrested. Number one, we fought Michelle's mama and her grandma. Number two, number three is we out past 9 o'clock by ourselves. And number four is we was making out with some boys. All of these are bad things. Like, I don't want this for my kids. How do I make sure that this doesn't happen to my kids? How do I make sure that my kids don't do stupid shit like this? Like, this is dumb. Like, when I'm thinking about it, like, how do I make sure? I don't want my kids doing stupid shit like this. Like, this is dumb as fuck. Let me fix my lipstick. Hold on. No, 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 no. Let me count the ways. Soup coolers. We walk to Subway. I walk into Subway at 10 o'clock at night, probably like 10 something, I don't know. And we lit, we rowdy. Fuck that bitch, we fucked her up. Bitch, shit, oh, slut. Every motherfucking curse word you could think of was coming out of my mouth. I get a tap on my shoulder. I turn around. Who do I see? It's my mother's best friend. She was on a date with a nigga. Which, as an adult, is a red flag, because why are you and this nigga at Subway? He's like, y'all couldn't go nowhere else. Why are y'all at Subway? I should ask her that. Like, and she was like, what are you doing here?
Nothing. I spent the night at Ashley's house, and then we had got hungry, and then, you know, her mama, sandwiches. Yeah.
And she was like, that doesn't sound like it. That doesn't sound like what y'all was saying when y'all come in. Did you get into a fight? And I was like,
nah, man, I ain't get into no fight, bro. Like, period. Like, I don't know nothing about no fight. I can't even see. I got no arms. Like, what am I fight?
So she was like, oh, okay, well, I thought I heard you say that you had got into a fight and, like, you know, you had fought someone's mom and their grandma. And I was like,
nope.
she was like, oh, okay. So she's like laughing and kikiing with me, you know, whatever. Introduces me to this guy she's on a date with, whatever. She eventually leaves. We get our sandwiches and we get on a bus and go back to Kim's house, which was just around the corner. The next morning, I go home. My mom picks me up as if everything is normal. We get home. I get in the shower. My mother comes out of nowhere and beats my motherfucking ass. And she said, where I drop you off at is where you motherfucking better stay. The thing is, why wait until I get into the shower, sis? You knew it was gonna hurt more? Is that what this is about? Okay, that's fair. I was doing a lot, you know, that's fair. At the end of the day, you know, whatever. So that's the time I fought this girl's grandma and her mama. It wasn't really like a head-on collision, but it happened, you know. Right now, I'm a little tipsy, you feel me? Period. So I'm about to order some Postmates. I think I'm gonna play The Sims. I hope that this video makes sense tomorrow as I'm editing it. Either way, it's going out. Either way, we gonna post it, you know. I have now drinking. Is that a word? Drinking?
Is drinking a word?
I have now drunk almost all of this nasty ass Paris Valley roll. Like, real shit, I could have got a strawberry. I could have had a motherfucking V8, okay? Period. At this point, I could have had a motherfucking V8 and I would have been much better off. But whatever. I've still reached the same conclusion, which is I'm drunk. Which is all a girl can hope for. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you gonna get. The hood or the hippie. Peace. Shake what your mama gave ya. might as well learn TikTok dances. Fuck it.